Hello and welcome to the Ell'Chemist, and this is Soul Talk Sessions with a Scorpio moon.
Rockets on the day.
Welcome to episode 5, and I am again super excited about this one because I have my real good friend Louise coming on to chat with me today, and we're just going to be talking just all stuff about our life experiences. Really, we've kind of shared the same similar kind of life experiences, and we're both in a place now where we just truly believe that we've gone through these things for a reason, and the reason being to start sharing it, to start talking about it, to put it out there a little bit more so that other people that are going through it maybe just don't feel so alone, and can at least expect to understand what might happen going through these experiences and how they don't actually break you. Like, these experiences, these heavy, deep emotional experiences that you go through are there for a reason. You know, they're not actually there to break you, they are there to make you. And I feel like people like Louise and I are just advocates for helping people understand that and wanting to talk about it more, to like just put it out there for people to just feel a little bit less alone and have a little bit more courage, like shown to them that no matter how terrible something can be, no matter how bad an experience or whatever can be in your life, there's always a lesson there. There's always room for growth. Like, challenges are great as healers, basically. So it's going to be real good to have her on to have a chat so we can discuss a few things about that. But just a little update on the last couple of weeks. Like, firstly, I'm just going to say, like, I've been shit with posting on Sundays, like I said that I was going to. But it's just because it's time limits. Like, I don't do well with working with time limits. Like, I'm just going to put stuff out there when the time is right. There's not going to be any kind of set dates. It might be sporadic. It might be every 2 weeks. It might be every week. It might be every day at some point, because I've said it before, I've just got a lot to say. And I don't want to be subject to a time limit when it comes to putting it out there. It's just if and when it's ready. So apologies that that's a bit wishy-washy for some people that like a bit of structure, but yeah, you're not going to get that with me. So it's just if and when, although not if, it's always going to be when, all right, because these are coming. But anyway, the last couple of weeks, I've been real sick, actually. I fell real ill sometime last week. I think it was the week before. Oh no, it was the week before, actually. I started feeling better last week, but yeah, I was written off, come down with something. I was like horizontal for a good couple of days, just trying to just get it out of me, but didn't train at the gym for a good couple of days. I ended up smoking a bit of weed, probably a little bit too much, but I needed it to help me sleep and also give me some appetite as well so I could eat. But that was me kind of dipping back into an old coping mechanism, which maybe I shouldn't have done. Sometimes I feel like the universe gives me these lessons, like even if it comes to, you know, my body getting ill, the universe will give me the lesson to see how I handle it. And maybe I keep failing at that because I will always just revert to getting myself some weed and smoking my way through the situation. But I'm definitely not letting that define me or change anything for me whatsoever. But other than that, like, other than being ill, things have been pretty good. I can't tell you how nice it is to actually not be obsessed with someone, even though being obsessed with someone gives me a lot of joy and like keeps me busy in some way. It's good to not be, because it makes me realise how much more energy and effort and attention I've got for the other things that are important in my life, like my work and my business and my own personal growth and stuff like that. But like, just not being a part of any dating apps and just completely stepping out of that thing, like the whole thing that I was in with Mr. Ringwood and everything like that, like, fuck, I'm so far detached from that now. Like, I can't even tell you how I would probably see him walking down the street now, even though I have definitely said to a few people, like, you know, he still crosses my mind every now and again, but I'd see him walking down the street and I'd just feel nothing. Oh, actually, I will tell you something about the last couple of weeks. All right, so in my town, yeah, this is something that's actually becoming a bit of a thing for me that I'm not liking very much. And what it is my relationships with men which are friendly. Because I tell you what, sorry, there's a fucking dog barking. I don't know if you can hear it, but I certainly can. It's extremely annoying. It's my next door neighbour's dog. But anyway, I tell you what it is, right? Having a male friend is great, you know. As women, we want male friends. We want that. We want to be friends with men. But I find that men struggle with being friends with women, because it's like you guys, don't know if there's many men listening, but you guys struggle with that dynamic, like being friends with a woman. You know, when you're friends with a woman, you might do stuff that you would do as a couple, but you're not a couple, you're mates, because you do those same things with your mates as well. But the line seems to get really blurred. And what I'm noticing in a couple of my like male friendships, one specifically, with a man who's actually quite a few years older than me, but like I love him to death in many different ways for many different reasons. None of them sexually, romantically or anything like that at all. But I'm starting to put up a bit of a barrier between us, because I'm noticing how much he makes comments about the people that I choose to speak to, men, women, whatever. It'll make like little snide digs or something like that. Or say if I am speaking to a man and he happens to be in the same room or the same place as where I'm talking to this person, he's making these like gestures behind him, like hanging himself or cutting his neck, like you know, just doing all these really silly things. And it's like, why are you doing that? You know, why are you doing that? You've got such like a strong opinion about who I choose to speak to. I don't like that. Like I class myself as being an extremely independent woman who, yes, I have found myself falling into these random toxic, unhealthy situations, none of which are dangerous though, none of which have put me at any risk of my life or anything. I'm an extremely highly self-aware person. Like, I don't feel like I need protecting, nor do I feel like I want it. I don't want to be protected by somebody who is doing it because they can't handle their feelings. Do you know what I mean? Am I making sense when I say this? I really hope I am. So I feel like maybe many women will be able to resonate with this. Like, you know, you've got a really good guy mate, but it's like they care about you just a little bit too much. And it's like, yeah, it's nice, but also I've never given you any reason to feel any more deeply about me than just a friendship. Like, if you need to fucking go away and deal with that rather than projecting it over me, because now it's making me feel uncomfortable and actually I'm quite insulted, because it, like, you know, you might see this person as a brother and they're looking at you as a potential love interest, and it's like, absolutely fucking not. Please don't. Like, I will happily cut someone from my life if they can't handle their emotions around me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just feeling that a little bit just from a couple of like male energies in my life, and it's no good. It's just no good. Oh, this is another thing as well, actually. Like, one thing about me is that I'm such an open book. Like, if I do fancy you, this is what I always think about, like, male friends or whatever, or just male energies in my life that come into my life that immediately assume that for some reason I fancy them, even if I haven't told them. I don't. Like, because I will tell you if I do. People that I fancy, I will physically approach you and tell you that I fancy you. I've done it with this guy in the gym. He ended up, he was my PT. I used to see him around the gym all the time. It was like we'd make eyes maybe with each other. And one day I just went up to him and I was like, I know that you see me looking at you all the time. It's because I think you're cute. And he was like, oh, okay, thanks. And I walked away and that was it. You know, it's just, I will tell somebody else that I know. I've said to him recently, like, I think you're really fucking hot. Like, you are. But I'm self-aware enough to just know that I feel something, or I can quite comfortably say, you're fucking sexy, or you're cute, or I fancy you. But I can get on with my life. I'm not going to try and like get in between you and your partner that you've got, or you and your life, or anything like that. I'm just letting you know that I'm carrying a feeling towards you that thinks you're sexy, and I can carry it away and do nothing with it, you know? Like, I pride myself on being like that, and I think maybe that can be a little bit a lot, especially for men, because they wouldn't do that, or they wouldn't be able to feel something for somebody and not do anything with it. But as a man, like, if any men are listening, me, any other women, you will know if we have got any kind of feelings for you. You'll know it. If you're confused, we don't. Okay, that will be your answer. I'm sure there are plenty of girls out there that are a bit confusing maybe and you're not too sure, but 9 times out of 10 you will know if a girl has feelings for you. You'll see it in her eyes, you'll see it in the way her body language around you, in the way that she's articulating how she speaks to you. Like, you'll just know it. So, and if you're not sure, ask. Like, don't, because we feel it as well. Like, us women, we can feel when somebody has feelings for us and they're not doing anything about it. Like, we feel the change in the energy and it's a fucking ick. It's not attractive. We don't enjoy it. We do not enjoy that. We want, like, communicate it so we can quite confidently tell you that you're wrong to feel that way, or you need to redirect that energy elsewhere. You know, like let's just start talking about our feelings a little bit more with each other and owning them a little bit more. Men, women, everyone. Because it's just, we can't keep playing these guessing games. We can't keep being, like, emotionally involved with people that just, it's a simple no-go area. If you've been friends with somebody for a certain amount of years, months, and it's only ever been friendship, there's never been anything else that happens, keep it that way. All right, like, if there's never been any reason for you to think that there's anything romantic involved, it's because there's not. So just keep it that way, maintain that, look elsewhere for your romantic connections. Don't go seeking it in your really good, strong friendship connections, because you lose them otherwise. Don't really know why I went on such a tangent with that, but it's just been something that's been sitting real heavy with me. But anyway, that's enough chat, because this is going to be another long one. So buckle up, go put the kettle on, get yourself some snacks, and without further ado, let's get into it. Hi, Louise.
Hi, Elle.
Hello. That's like the worst bit of...
The intro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always used to, when I did the podcast before, I always used to proper get the giggles. Or I'd start off with a bit of gum in my mouth just to lube my mouth up a bit. So, and I'd end up having to take that out slyly on camera. But we were physically being filmed as well. So
Yeah. I need to do that.
The first bit is like, how do we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, because that's always the worst bit. Just starting any video like, hi guys.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. But we're here so we can talk about everything to do with all the shit that we've been through, basically. Cause,
my God, there's a ton of it as well.
Yeah, we'll try and wrap it up into an hour, but it could be longer, who knows.
It will.
But we've both kind of had similar experiences, I guess, haven't we? Like with death and relationships and
100%.
like abuse and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like now both of us are in a place where we both are acknowledging that the stuff that we have been through is put us into this place where we can now talk about it and we can share it, so to help others that are either going through it or could potentially go through it or something like that. Like, we're in that place where we want to put it out there so people can resonate.
100%. I think when we first met, we were like, we reckon these things have happened to people like us, so then we can heal and help other people with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's so powerful. I think it's such a, like, selfless act, but it also shows, like, you know, when they say, and it sounds like a bit of a cliche, like, God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. I really, truly believe in that. And I believe in, like, the soul's purpose of, we agreed to this before we came down.
Yeah.
From whatever your belief is, like the universe, God, you know, heaven or whatever. But I truly believe that the path that I've been given was to speak out and help other people, and also for me massively to break the generational curse that was in my mum's family, because that had gone on for years, like some of the stuff that had happened, and then, you know, it sort of ended with me because I then went on to protect my own children from certain things. So, yeah,
changing the bloodline.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that's what had to happen. Like, for me, I truly believe I was a woman of a long line of women in my mum's family who it was going to end with, because, you know, it had to at some point, because there was no way it's going to happen to my daughter, some of the things I've gone through.
Yeah. And even with your son as well,
Yeah.
like the way that he is, as young as he is absolutely fucking incredible.
Yeah,
Like, he is an incredible young man, isn't he? And
they're so spiritually in tune, my kids, and they're so intuitive, they're so empathetic, they're so, just the way they think is, you know, it's just very open, which is what I want them to be like. You know, there's far too many people, I think, kids born into families who learn judgment from their parents. And you see it, you know, you see it when your kids are younger in playgrounds and not playing with the, you know, without being horrible, like the smelly kids or the kids that don't have fuck all, because their parents will be slagging that family off because they haven't got a lot of money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I always taught my kids, like, you know, if that kid is really smelly and doesn't look like he washes and he's angry, you've got to think why he's like that. So I'd always get them to have a look at, you know, he's probably comes from nothing, probably gets neglected at home, and just getting them to understand that, I think, is really important, instead of being one of those parents who are like, ooh, yes, don't play with the dirty child, you know, and they haven't got anything to offer you, sort of thing. I never wanted my kids to be like that.
Yeah, no, that's good. Although my mind did just go to the smelly gun at the gym.
That's different, they're adults.
Yeah, you should know better.
Wash, do you know what I mean? Like, those people at the gym are just, I swear they're there to test us. Like, I'm always like, yeah, I don't judge. And I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, you stick and stop slamming them weights, mate.
Stop grunting.
Yeah.
Stop staring at my ass.
Sometimes, like, you got to be judgmental. And even, I mean, we're all judgmental, aren't we, really? Like, it's embedded in all of us. And I learnt that a lot in my counselling course as well, that even counsellors, therapists, like, you're judging silently, like, but it's
Buddha
impossible not
doesn't
to.
judge, surely. Do you know what I mean?
I bet he does.
I bet he does still, yeah. But I think, like, judgment is just being real bitchy about it.
Yeah.
When you come across judgy, like, I've been in girl groups that I'm no longer, like, close with, or, you know, don't really want to surround myself with, because they'll slag off how a girl looks, or they'll say, oh, she's put on weight, or she looks disgusting, and I'm just like, I don't want to be surrounded by those people. I mean, you'll know as well, we see it at the gym, there's a few people I think we dislike because we see them judging and being horrible about the bigger that girl that's come in the gym, or they just think they're better than everyone else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I judge those type of people. They're the people I judge.
Yeah.
The people that are just pricks on life.
That kind of not deserve it, but, like, they put themselves into a
say
position.
It. They do deserve it.
Yeah.
They do deserve it.
They do.
Because they're being horrible to other people who are weaker than them.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like.
And it's always like that at the gym. Like, there's going to be people like that that meme or whatever that I sent you. It's like, you're not a real gym person unless you've got, like, beef with someone that you've never spoken to. And there's so many people like that in the gym. Like, it's hard to just be, and part of going through all the shit that you have in life and coming to a point of awareness and all stuff like that.
Yeah.
I guess you feel a little bit more judgmental on yourself with how you're judging others, because you're like, oh, you know, I'm meant to be this spiritual woo-woo, awareness ascended.
It's absolute bullshit.
But
it's absolute bullshit
life.
that you don't have your own demons when if you're spiritually in tune or whatever, because we do. I think, like, we have bigger demons than a lot of people. But I think, you know, we're very honest about ours.
Yeah.
I'll be very honest about who I am as a person. You know, I'm like, sometimes I can be a bit of a cunt. I am very hard work sometimes, but I own it.
Yeah.
Whereas the dangerous people are the people who really pretend to be nice.
Yeah, the fakers.
And they're just snakes with tits.
Yeah.
When I saw you at the
dicks.
gym, but this is like, when I first saw you at the gym, your energy alone, I could feel it was really nice energy. Like, you kind of float through the gym. Now I know you. I know you're in your head going, who the fuck is he looking at? Who's she looking at? like angry. Do you know what I mean? So you floated through the gym, and I thought, I really like the look of her. She seems really nice.
Oh, I love
And then
that.
I saw you. You'd come off the one of the machines, and then you were showing this girl how to do it, and, like, some younger girl, and I thought, she's a really nice person. And then, like, we kind of, like, smiled at each other then, and I was like, yeah, she's nice.
Yeah.
Because I've got resting bitch face in the gym, and so I probably look really unapproachable, whereas I'm probably one of the most approachable people in there.
Yeah.
I'm, like, so, you know, happy to help. But to look at me, I probably look like...
I thought you were
horrible.
intimidating when I saw you.
Yeah. And that's wild to me, but that, I know, like, because I'm in there, I've got my headphones on, I don't really want to talk to you unless I know you and I really like you. But if someone was to ask me for help, I'd be like, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I talk to all the old boys in there. I'm like, how's your day? You know, because that's a quick conversation. But I don't want to be stood round talking in the gym.
Having a proper chat with people.
Oh.
I know. When you start getting to know all the people and it's like takes you about
Why are you
half an
having a
hour to
proper
get
chat
into
in
your
the gym?
workout.
Fuck off.
I know.
You
So you have
know?
to avoid people sometimes for that reason.
People are so weird though, aren't they? Did I tell you, when me and Max went to watch Gorgon City, we left the rave early because to my left there was a couple and he had his back to Gorgon City all night. They were next to us, didn't dance, he didn't look at the Gorgon City. They were just having a full-blown chat, staring at each other for an hour. Then I looked to my right and there's 3 lads all turned into each other chatting, and I'm like, we're at a rave. Wait, there we go, there's me judging again. What are you doing? How can we even hear each other over the music?
Yeah.
I'm like having to shout in Mags's ear, and the vibe just wasn't there for me. So we left early. I was like, this is a load of shit. But yeah, like, people chat in the weirdest situations.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah.
Were they like young people as well?
The couple to our left were probably my age. I mean, yeah, I would say probably he was a bit older than me. And then these 3 young lads, they look like, you know, like higher class uni toffs.
Oh, yeah.
They just look like, you know, what are you doing here? Did you just come just so you could say, I've been to see Gorgon City?
Yeah, but you haven't
'Cause
even
it was
seen
cool.
them.
But you haven't even seen them.
Yeah.
Do you even know any of their tunes? Like, do you know what I mean? But, yeah, like, it's just funny. People are strange, aren't they?
People are strange. And they're annoying as well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to just be annoying cunts. There's going to be fucking chatty cunts. There's just people everywhere that are going to trigger the parts of us all the time that need to come out.
It's definitely based on the time of the month. I know we're very big on this because, you know, I'm in my really good place at the moment. I've just come off my period. So I'm like, I love everybody. Do you know what I mean? So catch me now, because when I go luteal, or luteal as you say.
Luteal, yeah.
I'm just like a demon.
Yeah. Same.
You know,
it's the worst.
You mix that in with like all the shit we've been through, and then like the moon cycles, the birth chart cycles.
Yeah.
It's like
what the planets are doing.
You've really got to pick your moment.
Yeah.
But we are probably 2 of the most friendliest people you could ever meet.
Literally.
Isn't it mental?
Literally. But where it's due, like,
Yeah.
I saw this video as well the other day that said something like, awareness or spiritual awakening or something doesn't make you a nice person.
No.
Because it doesn't. Like,
No, that's so fake.
you just you become real. You become real to this fake niceness, like all these woo-woo stuff. Like, me and Vary did touch on this because and Vary said, and I like this perspective where she said there are some people where that nice spiritual woo-woo is going to appeal to some people. People want that. But then I think in reality, like, you can't just continuously promote yourself to be like love and light and stuff all the time, because that life isn't like that. And too many people that are like you and I, that are aware, that are still spiritual and stuff like this, you know, we do all the practices, but we still get pissed off. We still do get triggered. Like, we still get angry. We are women. We have our period phases and stuff like that. Like, we have to honour the fact that you can't just be happy and chill all the time. Like, we have to exercise our anger and our aggression as well, because we've been carrying that our entire lives.
Yeah, I find it like a Stepford wife thing. I find it like some of these spiritual gurus, and I say that with inverted commas because I find it so fake, and I feel like it's just a money-making thing for them now. Like, they glamorise it, and don't get me wrong, it can be glamorised and it can look beautiful, but I very seldom see these type of spiritual people posting the hard shit. And that, so I find it really hard to connect with those type of people. Like, I love some women's circles, and then some of them I'm just like, oh, this is horrific. Like, it's too fake. The women that are there are not my type of women. They're very, like, you know, they're not, I wouldn't say they've had really any trauma. They're just there because it's a trend.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's what spirituality's
trend.
become now, I think.
Yeah,
it's like a trend.
trendy. Like, it's like saying you have to journal every day. It's such a pressure to journal every day. It's such a pressure to meditate every day. Like, you know yourself, but I guess you make yourself do it. You're on that, like, you've done it every day, haven't you, for so for so many days. But it, like, if you don't want to meditate, that's also okay. If you don't want to journal, that's also okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to fucking rub your crystal up your fanny, it's okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but I feel like these gurus put so much pressure on people that if you're not doing that, you are not doing it right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. There's no, like, set in stone way of doing it.
No.
Healing isn't linear. It's very jagged. It's very up and down. Sometimes you feel like you're on the most horrific fairground ride of your life, and sometimes, like, I went to see my mother-in-law the other day, and I said to her, like, I haven't been doing a lot of stuff, but I think what happened is I met Mags, I'm like really happy, and so I'm like, oh, everything's good, I don't need to do that, and I don't need to do this. But it's hit me now that I'm like, I need to start doing some of this stuff again, because I can feel the pull in different areas. Like, I can feel that uprising of anger. So I'm looking at some stuff that I want to start, like, putting back into my daily routine. And
I guess you're coming not out of, like, the honeymoon phase, but it's about, like, 6, 7, 8 months in it since you and Mags have been dating.
I mean, you wanted to touch on that anyway, so we might as well talk about Mags first.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's who I always talk about anyway. No, I'm really joking. But, like, he is now showing me parts of myself, and he pisses me off when he says it, but he's like, I'm just holding the mirror up to you. And I'm like, well, fucking take it down. But it's so true. Like, it pisses me off because he's making me look at myself. He'll say to me, you want to run away, you don't want to have these hard conversations. And I'm like, no, I don't. But he's right. You know, I do want to run away. I do want to run away back from the feelings, because he is putting this mirror up, and he's saying to me, look, it's okay for me to see those ugly sides. I'm going to be here anyway. I'm not going anywhere, but let's talk about it. But because from the age of 5, I have been keeping my emotions to myself, keeping my mouth closed when I was hurting and stuff like that. I do it with Mags. I don't like to talk, although I love to talk. I don't like to communicate how I'm feeling, because there's all this shame and stuff around that, which has come from my childhood. But with him, he's definitely part of, like, my soul's journey. Like, we obviously, you want to know the story of when we met, don't you?
I love the story.
Right, okay.
I love it. You have to share it.
Yeah, so we met, like, coming up to 3 years ago now. I had just broken up with my boyfriend, who I found out was married, and I was with him for a year, and, like, I hated men after that. I was like, they're disgusting, they're all bastards. And I'd gone out with my friend, and I walked into this bar, and I remember just feeling their eyes burning into me, and I looked over, and he sat there just staring at me with his group of mates, and I thought, oh my fucking God, he's so hot. But it wasn't just physically how he looked. There was this energy between us. Like, it sounds so airy-fairy to people who don't believe in it, but I literally was like, oh my God. And I looked at him and I thought, he will ruin my life. Literally, that's what I thought. And my friend was like, oh, that's my cousin and his friends over there. Let's go over and talk to them. And I thought, oh no. So he then started speaking to me and was like, would you like a drink? We go to the bar, we have a drink, and he's like, can I have a kiss? And I was like, no, like, I don't want to kiss you. And he's like, you know, and then another drink. Then he, like, pulled me in, we had a snog. And I've said this to you before, like, other than the time when I'll come up on a pill leaving a club once and I snogged a lad on my way out, I've never had a kiss that blew my mind so much. Like, the intensity and the feeling was like, fuck. That we both pulled back and was like, fuck. Anyway, he asked me for my number, and I just wasn't about meeting somebody else. I had a lot of healing to do after my ex, and so I gave him the wrong number.
I cannot believe
I know.
After having a kiss that blows your mind like that, this guy that you're like, oh my God, he's so fit, you still give him
but I didn't want it. And also, he'd annoyed me as well. So then I felt justified in giving him the wrong number, because then I think because he was going off to do other things, he was a bit pissed off with me, like, because I then was like, oh yeah, I'm going now. So then I seen him again later on, and he just kind of like blanked me a bit, like the male ego, do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
He said it was because he was on magic mushrooms, but who knows? But anyway, but yeah, so I then, for days, for weeks afterwards, I kept thinking about him. Looked him up on Facebook, couldn't find him. And then about a month later, he come up on somebody else. Somebody had shared a picture of them all out on the day. And he had his arm around a girl and they looked like they were together. And I thought, little cunt, I bet he was with her when he kissed me. Anyway, fast forward to now, or at least nearly a year ago, I get a message from my friend Zach and he's like, are you single? And I'm like, well, it really depends on who wants to know. But I was like, yes, I am. And he's like, look, I'm with my friend in a pub. He's just seen you come up on my Instagram and was like, get me that girl's number. I know her and I need to speak to her. I want to take her out. So I was like, well, it depends who he is. And he's like, well, he knows you. Just like, can I give me your number? And I said, no. Tell him to add me on Instagram, which he did. And his Instagram picture was him, and I recognised him straight away. And I was like, straight in, like, oh my God, it's you.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah. So, and they say the rest is history. We went out on a date the next day, and we've kind of been inseparable since. However, and you won't mind me saying, he had just started dating the girl he was in the picture with, like the one that I seen a month later. And so it wouldn't have been the right timing, do you know what I mean? But I believe the universe knew we just needed to go off on our own little journey to come back together.
100%.
I would have drove him mental then because
Yeah.
I had a lot of healing to do. He obviously was still being a bit of an immature prick, kissing girls on nights out when he shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
So, you know, we both have said it to each other. You wouldn't have liked who I was then, and I wouldn't have liked who you were, and that's okay. It doesn't make us bad people. It just means we wouldn't have been the right for each other, you know.
Yeah.
So, because someone like him out kissing girls on a night out, I probably would have put a stick pickaxe in his head. So, yeah,
It was 100% divine intervention with you two.
absolutely, yeah,
Like, definitely.
Yeah.
For that, even like for you to walk in there, notice him, and for
I
the girl
felt
that
him
you're
before I
with.
saw him.
Exactly.
I felt his energy before I saw him. I've never had that with anyone.
And the person that you're with, to know them anyway, like
Yeah.
for it to be our
Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah.
And then even like the story that you just told me about this other guy.
If Max had come out a second later, so this lad was stood there flicking through Instagram having a fag. You know how quickly you move up through people?
Yeah.
And Max was stood next to him, and as he was flicking up, he went, whoa, 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 go back. Show me that girl.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so mad. It's such
Yeah.
divine intervention.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
meant to happen. That's
Yeah.
why I just feel like it was
Yeah.
brought to you at the absolute perfect time.
Yeah.
And as this is what I was going to ask you, like, you know, as people that are listening that have had a lot of shitty relationships or at least have, you know, gone for a significant amount of time on their own to do some healing. And I think I've mentioned it before in podcasts, like they do say that the first healthy relationship that you get into is in
100%.
fact the most triggering.
Yeah, of course it is.
And you've had some
Yeah.
triggers and
Yeah.
some things that have like come up, which I guess have tried to make you put up a
Yeah, yeah.
And because you're an Aquarius, he's a
Yeah.
Gemini, like
Yeah.
your ways of wanting to handle things are very opposite in
I
that
like,
way.
yeah, of course. I like space when I'm dealing with some stuff. And then once I've worked through that bit of time, then I just want to hug. Then I want to be close to him. He struggles with that because he wants to fix and he wants to help me and he wants to love me. And I'm like, I just need some space. I just need to deal with this on my own. Like, obviously with the loss of Blue lately, like, he's just wanted to fix that. He hates to see me sad. But I'm like, I just need to not be around anyone. But he, you know, some of the things I say to him, he's like, it's wild to me that you would think I would do that to you or treat you like that. Like, but it's wild to me some of his insecurities as well. Do you know what I mean? But I think that he is definitely the first healthy relationship I've had. Like, some of my relationships have been just the worst trauma that I wouldn't wish upon anyone. And that's been from quite a young age. Like, even when, so my first, I would say, serious boyfriend at like 18. Actually, no, my first serious boyfriend when I was 16. Like, I had a termination with him, you know, like, and he used to cheat on me left, right and centre. That's at 16, you know. So having that abortion and then, you know, now I really believe in the soul's purpose, that they say, like, with abortions, the soul knows before it comes into that realm that there's not going to be a fulfilled life. And people have different opinions on that, but just that when you're younger, going through that at 16, there's all the guilt that comes with that, and then thinking, God, will I not be able to have children, and am I going to be unhealthy, like, you know, and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot to be said around something like that happening so young in your life. Whereas if I had to make that decision now, I could deal with it a lot more maturely and not carry the guilt and stuff.
Yeah.
Because my understanding of all that now is a lot different to what it was when I was 16.
Yeah.
And then I went on to be with a man who beat me awfully, you know, he assaulted me, raped me. It was just that, and that was at 19 I met him, and I moved away with him to Kent. That was horrific. That was like probably the worst relationship I've ever been in. And then I met Mia's dad. He was in the army. That was kind of like a very short-lived relationship, but we got married. But again, you know, I didn't do that because I really wanted to get married, and I loved the idea of getting married. For me, marrying him was getting out of where I lived, escaping, like, the things that had happened around here. Do you know what I mean? To move away with him. But then I got Mia from that relationship, and she's such a blessing, you know.
Yeah.
Then I met Dan, and I just wasn't mature enough to deal with me and Dan in the earlier years. Like, we both had a lot of shit going on that we put into the relationship. So yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster with relationships.
Do you think that relationship with Dan, because Dan was like the last serious relationship before Mags, wasn't it, really? Because
I had Lee then, the married army guy.
Oh, that was for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that like for a whole entire year for him to like, that's not setting you up for, like, in a good way for someone like Mags, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, all these relationships, they're just, like, feeding just more and more trauma and wounds. So like, someone to meet...
The lies were just insane.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff he had... So he had 2 phones. He used to pretend to voice note his son, but he was voice noting it and sending it to this other phone that he had.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he used to say that my trust issues, so he gaslit me. It's the worst thing you can do well, it's not the worst thing you do to someone, but he gaslit me. So he would say to me, so I'd opened up to him about some of my trauma, and he would say to me things like, you only feel that way because you've had untrusting relationships, or because you've got dad issues, or because of your abuse when you were younger. He'd say, you've just got insecurity problems and you don't trust me. It turns out I didn't trust you because you were fucking married.
Yeah.
And you're just a lying, scummy bastard.
Oh my God, mate.
Yeah.
That is
He's a psycho.
That sounds exactly like what my ex...
How do you live with those lies?
Girlfriend, exactly. Like, and how people can so confidently tell you that it's your fucking problem and your insecurity when they are
his first rodeo
presenting that situation to you.
Yeah.
It's absolute bullshit, isn't it? Like, my ex, the way that how she presented herself to me as being single for 3 years and living with a housemate or whatever, and it turned out that she had been single for about 3 months, and the housemate that she lived with was actually her ex-wife. And then I obviously react to that in a way of being like, well, you've lied and that makes me feel uncomfortable. It's like, well, you're a bit insecure, you're a bit jealous. It's like, no, you've presented me with an extremely insecure experience. So how do you want... Like, if I was to respond to that in a way of being like, oh, no worries, that's all good. Like, that's a mug, isn't it?
Yeah, but you with us, and I would say this, like, and I think it's safe to say the same for you, you don't have to lie to someone like us.
Yeah.
Like, be honest and give us space then to say, okay, I'm happy to go into this situation knowing that.
Yeah.
But with us, you don't have to lie. It's so insulting because I'm not going to judge you. I might go, fuck, that's a bit deep, or that's a bit, like, heavy, but I can make a choice then.
Yeah.
Like, you know, don't get me wrong, if Lee had come to me and been like, I'm married, I'm on the rocks, blah, 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 I probably would have been like, it's not for me.
Yeah.
But to slyly come into my life and, like, be like, yeah, you know, meet my family, my like my kids liked him at first, but then intuitively they were like, nah, something's not right.
Yeah,
and
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, he's okay, but yeah, absolutely mental. And then his wife, at first she didn't blame me, but then she did, because obviously it got in her head and said like I'd like tried keeping him and I was mentally unstable and all this, like, so he gaslit and lied to her.
Yeah, just completely.
But she stayed with him. They're still together now. You know?
Really?
Yeah. But they're together from such a young age, and I think he just lied his way out of it. But and when I spoke to her on the phone, like, she said, do you think this is the first time he's done that? And I was like, no. Definitely not. He was so comfortable with doing it.
Yeah, to do it that naturally, like, that is massive red flags, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think obviously all of, like, the way that I see it, and especially like since meeting you and finding out your stories and your experiences and stuff that you've had, and now to the point where you've met Mags and like you're in your 40s, yeah.
45 in February.
Whoa!
I just didn't feel it.
Gonna get that bus pass soon, girl.
I joke all the time that I think when I have Mia, like, we swap souls, because I just feel like I'm 20 and she's 45.
Yeah.
She acts like such an old woman.
You are definitely, you don't give 40s at all.
No.
Other
what
than
should 45 be like, right?
Well, that's it.
Because I look at, I look at some people, and it's not really, I don't care what they physically look like. That's up to them what journey they go on physically. Do you know what I mean? But they're just so like, we're just so different. Like, I'm driving along listening to like rap and drill and stuff with my lad in the car. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and Jack's like, my mum knows the words to this. Like, it's like, I can't imagine some of the parents that he knows rapping in the car the way I do.
I love it.
We're just so different to some women in their 30s, let alone 40s, that I know.
Yeah.
I just don't take life too seriously. Like, you serious when you have to be, right?
That's it. And I think that's what, like, I really admire about you. And also, like, what I love how we have been brought into each other's lives. Like, obviously, we met because you came to me for a Reiki session.
Yeah.
And then we just, like, connected.
Can I just say, that was just so good.
Yeah.
So looking forward to my second one.
Yeah, we need to get that
Like,
done,
if you
like,
haven't
ASAP.
had Reiki with Elle and you are local to us, then you really need to.
Yeah, book in for sure. Go to my website.
Beautiful.
But like that seemed like we had like a good connection there.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, like, the more and more that we would talk about stuff, and the more and more that I'd get to know you and all the stuff that you had been through.
Yeah.
And also like resonating, because me coming from a history of having really terrible relationships, like being beaten up, being cheated on, all of that shit, lied to, blah blah, and I guess in my mind, being in my 30s, like late 30s, you do have this thing in your head where you're like, oh, I'll never meet someone, I'll be single forever. So like, not saying, oh, it's great to meet someone in their 40s who's just done that, but it is.
Yeah,
because,
of course it is.
And with the energy that you come with it as well, because you've got like such a young soul and everything like that, but you've got that 40s energy of still not giving a fucking shit, and you've come so much into your own, like, that I feel the way that we are in relationships are different. We are obviously different people in that sense. Like, say when you do talk about when you and Mags have had a little tiff or whatever, and he wants to really talk about it, and you're like, absolutely not. But I'm not like, oh, I would have to like really talk about it. We're both Geminis as well, aren't we, me and Mags? So like, I resonate with that. But it's like, I admire you and how you do handle those situations. And also, because I think I could never like show up like that in a relationship, because if I ever have done in the past, be like, no, I don't want to talk about it, and like, my boundaries are this, then that person really reacts to that in a negative way. But you're in such you've got such a good bond with Mags where you can genuinely just show up as yourself, despite everything that you've been through and despite whatever else, and he's still like, all right, sweet, I'm gonna love you anyway. And it's like, it does exist,
because he's like, I love your honesty, I admire your honesty, and he's got to the point now where he also doesn't take my shit. Like, he'll tell me about myself, He's not rude with it. He's not a screamer or shouter. He's not physically aggressive. Like, he, to me, is like, he's so masculine without all the horrible shit that I always thought a masculine man might come with.
He's a divine.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he doesn't punch walls and shout in my face. He doesn't name call. Don't get me wrong, a couple of times when he's been drunk, he's been a bit of a knob. But we can all be, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can all be a bit of a knob when we're drunk.
Absolutely.
But he's just, no one's perfect, but he loves me perfectly, and he is just what I needed. I don't want to walk over, I don't want a yes man, but I also did need someone that would come in and be patient with me.
He's soft. He's got the softness.
He's got a softness, but also the male masculine gruff energy.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a pushover. I would not do well with pushover. I would probably walk all over them for a bit. Then I would just get the ick and be like, bleh, bleh, get away from me. And yeah, he is... We talk about icks and he's like, if I ever give you the ick, Louise, make sure you tell me what it is so I can stop doing it. Because we talked about the podcast that I used to be on, and I was like, oh yeah, my ick's this. But I told him like in the beginning. But look, I can be very honest with Max. He doesn't judge me.
Yeah.
You know, some of the things I've told him, he's like, shit, that's heavy, like. But he just admires me for it. Whereas some people... You know, like, some people, I guess, like with the relationship with that Lee, he used me being abused as a child against me. Max just is like, wow, you are so strong. You're such an amazing woman. You're such an amazing mum to have come out the other end of that. So, whereas some men wouldn't know how to hold a woman who's been through all that trauma.
Yeah, he truly sees you, doesn't he? Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah.
And I think that's a bit of a Gemini trait as well, to... like really connect with how your mind and your intellect...
It's not just a physical thing for Geminis.
No.
They literally fall in love with everything about you.
100%.
Like, I could look fucking awful and he'd be still like, I just love you. You're so beautiful. And I'm like, fuck off. Why are you lying? But it's because he just sees me. He just sees my soul as well. Like, you know... And it's so funny because when I did meet him that night, I thought, nah, he's going to be one of them, you know? Just look like a proper lad, which he is.
He is,
there's so much more to him as well, but yeah.
Oh, it's just so nice. I just had a little vision of a video. You shared it, and I think it was one that he made. And it's like loads of clips of you, basically.
Yeah.
And there's one of you, and you've got your hair like in a messy ponytail, and you're like sitting on the grass or something.
That's the photo we went camping. That's the next day. I look like a goblin.
Oh, I loved it though, because it's just like you just look so in your element. As much as you're sitting there looking messy or whatever, you still just look in your element. And he's obviously got his phone out and recorded you.
He's always taking feral photos of me. And to him, I probably look like a beautiful princess. But to me, I'm like, the fuck? You know, because we live in now at such an age, don't we, where our social media, like, we post, like, the best parts of us. So it's nice that he still sees me like that and thinks, yeah, she's hot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so lovely.
I think it's so important as well to show those sides of you.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I can scrub up well,
to.
but I can also look like a fucking... feral goblin under a bridge.
Oh yeah, like this. I always say I couldn't be with somebody who doesn't like farts or burps.
Yeah.
Because that's such like a natural part.
Yeah.
I burp all the time. I fart all the time. I don't want to be made to feel like I'm disgusting for doing that.
Fuck off! Do you burp all the time? We voice note daily, and all I hear is bleh, bleh. Sorry, just burping. Sorry, just farting.
Even sat here, I'm like, oh, I need a shit.
Trying to squeeze one out.
But it's just, you want somebody, like, you want to be able to show up as that, as you
are, not be judged.
Yeah.
Like these couples who've not farted in front of each other ever.
Oh my God.
How are you living your life?
Yeah, that is so sad.
Where are you going to fart?
That is
you
so
must feel ill
sad.
inside.
Yeah, they must have the biggest fucking most painful bellies holding in all that. Or they run off somewhere to let a fart out.
What? You just have to run off all the time.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to be around them ever.
Yeah, right.
Like, I just couldn't do it. Like, you just need somebody that's going to accept you, like, warts and all. And I think, for me as well, like, in all of my relationships, like, when I do really think about it now, because, in all honesty, like, this year, I feel like I've come more into my real self than I
Yeah.
ever have done, because I've become really aware of how I have put on a certain part of me. And being a Gemini as well, I'm very adaptable. I can be like loads of different personalities.
Yeah.
But like for all of my life pretty much, I've put on a front
It's a
to
mask,
make
isn't
other
it?
people feel comfortable
It's
or something.
a mask. We start applying masks from such a young age. So some people's might just be when they start school. They might not be the most popular person, so then they'll put a mask on to become popular. Or they may not. They may put a mask on to be quieter because they don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
And I think we start at a young age applying these masks, and then more masks come with it. Where the healing starts when you start taking them off and you show up as you, and you're like, look, this is what I come as, who I am. And that's when you start meeting the people who are meant to be with you. What's really sad is the people who never take those masks off.
Yeah.
They apply them and that's them forever.
And they leave
They
it on.
never get to do the healing.
Yeah.
Especially like my mum's generation.
Yeah.
Their masks are, you know, my mum's mask is very hardened. She's very victim mode. She's very like, doesn't talk about her trauma. It's very, that mask is firm. It will never come off before she dies.
And they weren't encouraged to talk about their feelings and their emotions and stuff, were they? Like our parents'
Absolutely
generation.
not. Like, my mum thinks it's so weird that I talk about the things. But, you know, the other thing with that is because they feel such shame in their trauma.
Yeah.
I don't feel shame in the trauma that I've gone through. Like, it's taken me a while to get there, because with things like domestic abuse in relationships, there's shame put on women for staying. Rape, there's shame put on women, like so much shame now to be seen and heard. So many rape cases and stuff go and get thrown out of court because there's not enough evidence. Like, don't get me wrong, you have situations where women have lied about rape and things like that. So I get it's a really hard thing to prove when it's just two people. But like, there's so much shame put on the woman. What were you wearing? Were you asking for it? Did you tell him no?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then if we look back at, you know, me being abused, that was from a family member, and that is something through my teens I carried so much shame with, because he always told me that that was partly my fault as well. I had to do a lot of work to work on why that wasn't my fault. You know, I was only a kid, so, but people think it's weird that we talk about it now. But I talk about it so my kids never had to go through it, and I talk about it so other women who've never spoke about it can go, oh, actually, look, she's out here living her best life and she's quite open about what's happened and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas my mum, she's like, why would you bring shame on the family?
Yeah.
By talking about that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to suffocate in that trauma, do you know what I mean? So I choose to be open about it.
And it's inevitably made you who you are, isn't it? Like, despite
It
how...
made me who I was for a very long time. I was very angry, had a really, really dim view on sex. Like, I didn't, you know, like, I'm sure it's not too deep for this thing, but like masturbation and stuff, I had such guilt. Like, I'd masturbate like through my teens and then feel dirty afterwards because of how he'd made me feel like as a child. Like, that connection to intimacy was gone for me.
Yeah.
And it took a long time to let go of that. Then obviously being in that relationship when I was 19 and he raped me, that for me brought all that back, you know. So it's working through that and not listening to their narrative. Like, he used to tell me that we were in a relationship and it was our secret and stuff like that. And then when I was raped by that boyfriend when I was 19, he told me it was my fault. So it all like eats into that from your childhood, do you know what I mean? So I had a very angry mask on me for a very long time, and you know, that would come out like I did heavy drugs when I was younger, like, you know, always out popping pills, doing coke, drinking.
Yeah.
Just to escape it, you know, to escape being who I really was. And yeah, it's coming out of that and doing the work, doing the therapy, doing the counselling for me was very good. But I think me and you and Vari spoke about this the other day. My birth chart shows certain things in my life, like losing my brother, doesn't say in your birth chart you've lost your brother, but it shows the age when that significant thing in your life would have happened. So then you get to discuss it. And like my brother, before he died, he was the only one who knew about this older relative sexually abusing me, and then he died, and then I felt like that I'd lost my confidence in him, you know.
Yeah.
He was taken away from me, and he was the first person I trusted to tell about it, and so that was a big thing. Then I had to really build up the trust to tell my mum and dad after that. But your birth chart helps you navigate all these things that have happened and why they've happened. And if you can get somebody like Vari to go through, I've got my mother-in-law who does mine, but to go through all these things, it really helps you pick apart why it happened, what you can do to heal it, the energies you can work with to help you with things like grief, to help you with trauma and abuse and things like that.
Yeah, and to also help you understand that life is genuinely not even it's not meant to be easy. Like, these things are going to happen, and they are there to shape you into wherever you're meant to go. Do you want to, like, obviously we've both lost our brothers, sort of like similar-ish circumstances,
very similar, isn't it?
but not do you want to just touch on exactly like what happened, like how that affected you?
So my brother was 18, so I would have been 16, and then my sister would have been 13, and my other little sister was around 10. So we were all quite close. He had gone out to an event in Verwood, and he'd taken like paracetamol on the day. He was really struggling with really bad headache, and then he'd gone out drinking. This is the funnier side of the story, which isn't funny, but it kind of is, like, if you can make light of an awful situation. Him and his friend at the time had gone out into Verwood, and some girl had said that she was going to have a threesome with them. They, obviously being lads, were like, yes, game on. Went back to her house. She then changed her mind, which she's every right to do so. She put them in the conservatory to sleep. My brother was quite tall, he was like 6'2", and he fell asleep on this it wasn't pulled out, it's like a sofa bed, but he'd not pulled it out, he just got on it and KO'd. And his chin was down to his chest, and he'd thrown up in his sleep, and it'd gone back down and choked him. And that's what killed him. But the toxicologist, I want to say, I might have said that wrong, said that there wasn't enough alcohol or paracetamol in him to have caused it. When they first did like the checks on him, they actually thought that he'd had like something gone on in his brain, because he'd had like really blue lips and like a white bit on his lips, so they actually thought there was something deeper that had made him thrown up. But yeah, it was awful. Like, I remember getting told at work, I was working as a kitchen assistant, and I remember like the matron coming in saying, you need to go home, like something's happened at home. She looked like she'd seen a ghost, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought something had happened to like my mum or dad. And then I got in, and my little sister opened the front door, and literally was just screaming, crying, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then I go in, and my mum's like, your brother's died. But I'll tell you a really weird story about that day as well, is my dad had literally fortified that house, so the fences were like over 6 foot high. You just couldn't get in the gate. You couldn't get in around that house, that garden. And my dad comes from a very spiritual family. No, they all do all sorts, like all of them, like could see the dead and stuff like that. And a black Labrador it just sat in my dad's garden. And my dad knew it was a spiritual thing. So he rings my nan up in Liverpool, and he's like, Mum, there's a black lab sat in the garden. I don't know how the fuck it's got in here, but I know from childhood you saying stories about stuff like this. And she said, that's not a good sign. Something bad's happened.
Oh, this was before?
This is on the day of my brother.
So before
he died, yeah. And he hadn't heard from my brother, and that was unusual as well. So my dad phoned the police and said, there's a dog in the garden. You need to come get it. I don't know how it's got in here. And with that 20 minutes later, the police were there and they were like, it's really weird that you called us because we were on our way round to tell your brother had died.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and so it was a sign, you know?
Yeah.
But how weird is that?
Got goosebumps.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Really, really strange.
It's just the most, like, devastating way to die as well, innit? Like, completely unavoidable. Like,
yeah. So young, such a nice
Yeah.
guy, like. But I believe his soul knew. So weird things leading up to his death that you only look back on afterwards and you think, he knew. His soul knew. He didn't know. Consciously, he didn't know.
yeah.
But it was like his soul was getting ready to exit. It's so sad, but that's what I believe, you know. Like, we were never allowed to play on his computer or anything like that. He built computers at work for a job. And a couple of days before he died, he's like, you can use that computer if you want. And we were like, me and my sister were like, what? He's like, yeah, you can use my computer. And like, he was in this room saying, you can have those posters and stuff. Like, all weird stuff that he never would have normally done.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's almost like spirit knew that he was going.
Yeah.
It was like given permission.
Yeah, that's
Weird.
crazy, eh?
But like, for you, because we were saying the other day, weren't we? Like, you know, when people go, oh, I understand. I hate that because, like, even though we've experienced the same loss in our brother, it's very different for both of us, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
it's fucking tragic and it's heartbreaking. But your experiences and your way that you would have grieved and stuff would have been different to mine. There's no right or wrong. There's no way of dealing with grief, is there?
No. And I think that's it. Like, going through death at a young age, I actually think it's, like, as fucked up as this sounds, necessary.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you can tell if somebody's slightly undercooked because they haven't experienced, like, a loss like that from a young age.
Yeah.
Like, and how like, death is handled, because
Yeah.
I know for me, like, after my brother died, and I was 23 when my brother died and he was 28, like, death, the meaning of death and how death was to me, because that was the first death that I'd ever experienced. Like, I hadn't lost
as well, 23 is
nans or
crazy,
granddads or
yeah.
anything. That was like the first death was my brother, and I have a completely different outlook on death now, which is probably, sometimes I can probably be a little bit, show a lack of empathy when somebody else loses, say, like a nan or a granddad.
I get it.
And I'm
I
like,
totally get that.
absolutely devastating to lose anybody, but they're meant to die. Your nans and your granddads, they've lived their life. Like,
Young people aren't meant to, are
no,
they?
like, experiencing death that's so
cruel.
sudden, and you know, it was like the same experience. Like, I remember I was at work and I didn't live at home at the time. I lived in Chesterfield. I lived away from home for work, and my boss at the time, she was kind of like my work mum. She came in and said, oh, like, can you come, like, into the office? I need to have a word with you.
Oh my fucking God.
And I was like, oh, am I in trouble? Because that's what I used to say all the time. Like, am I in trouble every time I'd
Probably
get pulled
'cause you
out? And she was like, oh, no, darling, no. And she was like, you need to call your mum. And I was like, oh my God, is it my cat? Like, the first thing that came to my mind was that my mum was going to call me and tell me that my cat was dead. That was the most tragic thing that could possibly happen in my life at that point. And she was like, no, it's not. Like, just ring your mum. And I did. And I just remember, like, hearing my mum say those words on the other end of the phone. And, like, just, like, I remember, like, my life changed. Like, everything, the way that I was wired just changed in that moment. Like, my life fucking changed. And, like, walking home from work, and I only lived down the road, like, 'cause they were like, you can obviously go home. Walking down the road, and, like, all these cars and stuff driving past, and me thinking, no one knows. No one knows that my life has just been flipped up. So I'm walking home to my flat, and my flat's not going to be the same, even though it was like, I'm not at home. Do you know what I mean? Like, nothing.
Yeah, of course.
Nothing felt the same at all. It was just the most weirdest thing to still. Even now, sometimes, like, I'm like, my fucking brother's dead. Like, and for almost 13 years now, and it still just feels so. Sometimes
it feels so fresh still, doesn't it?
Yeah, and when you don't have, like, because the same as the toxicology for us, it wasn't an overdose. He didn't have, like a significant amount of drugs in his
Yeah.
system. The drugs that were in his system were prescription downers, but
Yeah.
still wasn't enough to kill him. Like, we never got the answer, but it was
Yeah.
like, it was his destiny, you know, like he was
How mad is
meant
it that
to go.
that journey, even with our brothers, is so similar?
Yeah,
Like, the way it all happened, that's crazy.
I know. And also how we've got, you know, like I'm saying, like, it's good to experience death from a young age, like with a person, a family member. Like, I experienced it with an animal from a young age, a younger age than my brother, and that we talk about that because obviously for you recently, unfortunately, with your Blue, you've had to have her put down, which is devastating.
Yeah.
Completely different kind of devastation to losing a brother or a dad. Like, some might say it's actually even more devastating. Like, the loss between an animal and a person is like,
it's different.
It's very
At
fucking
least
different.
It felt different for me.
Yeah.
I think, like, I would never compare. Like, I know people who've lost children, and I'd never say to my mum, I understand because I've lost Blue, but the helplessness of losing an animal is, yes, it's just tragic. But loss is just, everyone deals with it differently, don't they? And I mean, with Blue, it's still very raw because obviously it's not even been 2 weeks, but they're just so innocent animals, aren't they? I'm not saying that our brothers weren't innocent, they were still young, do you know what I mean? But, like, they just love, aren't they? They're not, there's no cruelty, there's nothing, they don't have anything else but
it's just
love
completely
to give us.
unconditional, isn't it?
Yeah.
Literally. And like, also what you're saying about everybody experiences death differently, like they 100% do. And I know, you know, before I'd lost anyone, people always say, oh, death brings your family closer together, it brings your
No.
I did not experience that at all.
No.
Like, I thought that it pushed us apart.
Families apart.
Because it was like, it was as if we were all competing for who felt the worst. Like, obviously my mum's dealing with the death of her son that she birthed. My dad is dealing with the death of his son.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with the death of my brother. My sister's their half brother. Like, we all feel differently, but it was as if there was some sort of competition. It still feels like that sometimes now.
I absolutely agree. My mum would say things like, he's just your brother, it's my son, and I will never understand what it's like. I never want to know what that's like to lose a child. But also, I've had other people say to me, you haven't lost a son, you've only lost your brother. And I would think, like, how can you say that?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even know. This is the other thing with, like, people who've not experienced this stuff. Don't try and give me life advice on the things I've gone through, because you will never understand what it's like to lose a brother.
Yeah.
You'll never understand to go through some of the stuff that I've gone through. Don't try and advise me on how I should feel.
Yeah, no, please.
You know, like, that angers me. That, for me, is like, fuck off. Like,
yeah, I can't stand
nursing
it.
my dad through his cancer and watching him go from such a strong man to not, and people trying to tell me how I should feel at that time.
Yeah.
What I feel is fucking pure rage.
Yeah.
And, like, you're not going to tell me that I should feel any different. You know, it's such a scary time. And we nursed my dad at home, so it was really difficult, do you know what I mean, watching him go through that decline. So
Feeling so helpless as well.
Yeah, but people try and give you advice on stuff they've never experienced.
Yeah. Or when they, like, this is what I fucking hated after my brother died. And also being somebody who, before then, I was always, like, the person who was, like, the happy one. I'd always make the jokes, like, I'd keep the energy alive or whatever. But then suddenly my brother's dead, so I'm sad and I want to cry.
Yeah.
But everybody being like, oh, don't cry. Constantly telling me not to cry.
Not to cry, I hate
it's like,
it.
how...
Cry.
But my brother's fucking dead. It's like, how can I not cry? I need to. So I just stopped. And it's all the and it's like, you know, fair enough, people are trying to be empathetic, they're trying to be nice, they're trying to support you, but that you learn after you have lost someone that there is just right and wrong things to say. The best thing to say is fucking nothing and just let somebody cry. Don't say, he wouldn't want to see you cry, or he would be so proud of you. You don't even know my brother.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell, I don't even know that he doesn't want to see me cry. I don't know that he's proud of me. How the fuck do you know? It's just
my brother would be fucking turning in his grave at some of the things I've got up to since he's
Yeah, exactly that.
Although, like, knowing him, I know he would be proud of me, and like, he'd be proud of me sat here doing this, like, because, like I said, when I talked to him about the stuff that had happened when I was younger, he was like, you need to speak about it, you need to talk about it. But there would also be life choices that he'd be sat there going, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, too right.
Do you know what I mean?
They're together now. They are, for sure. I even just feel like they're over there just watching us, like listening to them talking about us as if we ain't here, as if we can't hear them.
Yeah. You know, I think, that's a bugbear for me when people do that. I always say to people, because like, if people start crying, they're like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, do not apologise. Get it out. You need to. Otherwise, it's just trauma that doesn't get released out of the body.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, Reiki's good for, breath work.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Sound baths and stuff like that is moving and shifting that trauma that's trapped, all that emotion out of your body.
100%, and that's what I pick up a lot from as well. That's why I get so emotional giving Reiki to people, because I'm picking up on that trauma that they're still carrying. So and maybe that they don't like cry, like even with your mother-in-law, like, you know, I picked up on a lot of her suppressed emotion. And I kept saying to her, you need to cry. You need to let yourself cry. Just have a cry, because she's going through so much. Bless her.
Of course.
But it's like we do. And I am so much one of those people as well to say sorry when I start crying. But I'm mostly like, I'm sorry because I've chosen this moment to cry in front of someone that clearly just can't handle me right now. And it's like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry for you because I know that you can't fucking handle this. You know what I mean? So I'll just leave it.
Yeah, of course.
I've just felt like a bit disconnected from the connection that I had with my brother, you know, like a couple of months ago, and I just felt really, really in tune with my brother. Like, I felt like a little bit disconnected recently. But then I think
why do you think that is?
I don't know, I think that was my internal focus going a little bit astray after we call him Mr. Ringwood on here, after the Mr. Ringwood situation, and just after having some like, because I guess what I've noticed as well is that the relationship that I've had growing up with like my dad and my brother, I probably unconsciously seek that in my male relationships, whether that be intimate or friendly. Like it's like I'm looking for my brother or my dad in these relationships. So it's like when I've come in these last couple of months, these men that I've come into contact with,
disappointments. Should we call them men or disappointments?
Lessons? Disappointments. Lessons, whatever they are.
Disappointing lessons.
That it's like they're bringing up those wounds, and it's like, for me with my dad and my brother, like I always just wanted to know that they loved me. Like I just wanted to know so badly that my brother loved me, you know? And like my dad, even though
it's like a reassurance, isn't it?
Yeah. And even though you know that because they're your family, they're going to, or they're supposed to, or whatever, it's like just not actually ever having that knowing. So it's now in these relationships that I am making, even with my nephew, who is my brother's son, who they never actually met each other, never had anything to do with each other.
Sad, isn't it?
Yeah, proper.
Never met his dad, and he never met his son. And
he looks exactly like him as well. Wow. But it's like I find myself seeking. It's like I'm trying to heal the wounds that I had with my brother in his son now, and that's never going to happen because they're obviously completely different people. Of course, and because I do know in the depths of my soul that my brother fucking loved me to death and does still now, very much so. Like when I feel that energy,
I think though, like you need to probably delve into that a bit deeper, because whilst you look for that in intimate relationships with men, some men can like take advantage of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, because if you were to say open up to somebody about that, men can manipulate that. Do you know what I mean? They can be savage.
Yeah, and I do, because I'm an open book. So I'm like, these are all my wounds and my traumas. But don't get me there,
sat there taking notes. Like, yeah, is that what you need? I mean, that's my, I guess, experience of like that Lee, I guess. But then you can open up to someone like, look what I've got with Mags, and he's been amazing.
But did you open up to him straight away?
Fairly-ish, yeah.
Because
I just knew I could trust him.
And it was only like, I swear, a couple of months ago, or even a month ago, it was shortly after me and you started talking, that you guys had your first kind of butt heads when he saw a side of you that he's not seen, where he was like, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah. But he's just very good with it.
Yeah.
Like, he's very patient. But
I think that's what it is as well, isn't it? It's literally finding somebody that you can go through the shit with. It's finding the person that you can be your literal worst self with, and still grow from that, and still
100%.
It doesn't push you apart.
Yeah. Because, like, you know, obviously you're single now and you're open to meeting somebody, and like, I remember that stage, like, I was open, but I was also like, I want something long-standing now. I don't want just another relationship. So when I met Mags, I was actually at the point where I was like, if this goes nowhere, I'm fucking done with dating. I'm done with like fake people. I'm done with people who don't want to be open. It's really tough out there because there's so many traumatized people trying to love traumatized people.
Yeah.
But what I will say, like, because you do hear the stories like of me with, say, Lee, and that was a horrible experience. But then you've got like the nice story that followed that, which was Mags. It is stay open and like use your intuition. I think you will weed out people from your intuition. However, what I also will say on top of that, which is really like a double-edged sword, I guess, is when you've been so traumatized, even when people are being honest and genuine, you're like,
bullshit.
Yeah, what's going on here then? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so hard. And genuinely, I have fallen out of love with romanticizing love. I said this to somebody the other day, like, when I was younger and like growing up and stuff, I wanted love to be so perfect and so like joyous and never feeling any anger. But you do, and you should. People who say, oh, we never argue. One day you fucking are going to argue and it's going to come out, and your partner's probably gay. Like, do you know what I mean? That's why he just lets you just do whatever you want or whatever. Or you're going to find out that your missus doesn't even like men. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's because you are meant to feel raw and you're meant to feel emotions. It's not meant to be all plain sailing. And that is what Mags tells me whenever it gets a bit hot and heavy. He's like, this happens and it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
Like, this is what relationships are about.
Yeah. I literally say that all the time. I remember even saying to this girl that I was dating, like, it's important for me that me and you argue healthily. It's important.
This is the difference, right? Not beating each other and screaming and shouting at each other.
Exactly, not getting toxic and shit.
But having these fucking, like, accountability.
Yeah.
It's an accountability argument. Don't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
Because we all do it. We forget ourselves and we can be a bit disrespectful sometimes to people. But if you get held accountable for it, you'll think again before you do that.
Yeah, exactly that. And having a bit of empathy and like, understanding how you are impacting a situation that's going on. Yeah. That's one thing that she could never do. Because I was saying to her, like, even when I said that to her, like, it's important that we argue healthily of each other. She was like, oh, so you just want to argue all the time? And it was like, this is exactly why it's not going to fucking work. Yeah. Because no, I don't want to argue all the time, but I'm very aware that arguing is inevitable. We are going to argue, and when we do, I don't want it to be like this, where all of a sudden there's silent treatment or blocking or
hate silent
doing
treatment.
like little things.
Silent treatment is so cruel.
It is emotional abuse.
Cruel.
Like,
it's emotional abuse. To leave somebody not knowing what they've done wrong is just so cruel. I don't like silent treatment. However, I do feel like I'm a bit more like, once we've thrashed it out, that's it, I'm done. I don't hold on to it. Whereas I get some people do hold on to it. But I think when you've gone through so much trauma in your life, you are literally like, life's too short to now be sat here walking on eggshells for a few days around each other. I won't be in a relationship like that.
Yeah, no.
Like, do not fucking make me feel like I can't sit in my own house because the energy between us is that black and dirty. Because
Yeah.
you can't let that shit go now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if they can't do that, then that's not for you, is it?
Yeah.
Like, that's just
or
not
don't,
for you.
if I'm saying to you, what have I done wrong? And they're like, nothing.
Nothing.
But you know. Because intuitively I know.
Yeah.
I know the energy's off. So just fucking tell me.
Yeah.
Don't then go 24 hours later, okay, well, I'll tell you now. But I get it. Like, people can't communicate.
Literally.
Like-
That's what happened with that fucking chick as well that I was dating. Because she was at my house and and this was the day that it was the day of my brother's 40th birthday, and I'd gone back to Portsmouth to scatter some of his ashes. And come back here, and she was here still because she had come down to stay. She was from Doncaster, and we had spent like all these days together, which was nice. But then on this day, the day that I was a bit upset and I couldn't really give her my attention, she started being a type of way towards me and like being real needy and like all of this and then like sitting away from me and doing all of this shit. And I was like, "Are you all right? Like, what's wrong?" Nothing. It's like, okay, well, I feel like there's something wrong here. Like, I'm sorry I can't give you attention, but I feel like there's something wrong. Like, gave me all this energy for like that whole evening, the whole next day. And the day after that, in the morning, I'd woken up and she had packed all of her shit and put it in her car, and she was out here fully dressed at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, again, you got to tell me what the fuck is wrong now. So it's quite clearly obvious that something's wrong. Like, all your shit's packed. You're sat here like you're ready to go. What's going on? Nothing. And I was like, get out of my house. Like, just get out. Like, I'm not sitting here doing this with you.
Wild.
She walks out, calls me from her car and says, "Oh yeah, there was something wrong. I was just upset because I felt like I wasn't getting the attention or whatever when you went home for your brother's thing." And it was like, are you fucking joking? So you've just spent the past 48 hours telling me that nothing's wrong. You've waited till you're out in your car, which is right outside my house, and now you're calling me to say, oh, actually, yeah, there was something wrong. And it's because I couldn't give you attention because I'd scattered my dead brother's ashes. Like, get fucked. And that was done for me. I was like, you picked the wrong day of the year to piss me off, girl. Like,
yeah, how selfish.
I'm not going to give you the attention on that day. Like, I should have come home to a bath run and fucking flowers and chocolates, and like I would have done for anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we can't argue effectively. Like, we're not going to be healthy. Like, this is turning toxic. I can't do it. And and I was so proud of myself in that moment because it was like, yeah, because this is what's important to me. And I know now, I've got enough awareness now to know that we need to argue, and actually what this journey is finding somebody that you can do that with, that 100%. You can argue with. And I remember like ex-boyfriends of mine, this one ex-boyfriend, he was the last proper dude that I dated, and he was someone that I dated from years previous. Absolute fucking cunt. I literally hate him. Every time we'd have an argument, he'd change his profile picture from like me and him to just him.
Oh, really?
And he'd make a real point about it, and he'd block me and stuff. And it was just like,
no.
Like, I don't care, but I care because you've done it for that reason. I don't actually care about it, but because you've done it for that reason, now it's pissed me off.
I'll be really honest, I've done that before, and it's so toxic, and it's kind of doing it to give a message like, it's me on my own.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. And it is so toxic. So, yeah. But you learn from those things.
You do learn from it. Like, you know, we've all done those little crazy toxic things, you know what I mean? But you don't... And again, it's just finding... You won't necessarily feel compelled to do that with somebody that is healthy, you know? Because you're not going to want to make... Because the only reason why someone's doing that is because they feel in some way unseen, unheard... Or something. Like my ex,
you do stuff to protect yourself, don't you? As well, and like, it all does come back to like learned behaviours and learned patterns around what you've been grown up in, and stuff like that, or other relationships, how they've shaped you, and
if you want to actually learn from them or not. Because I'm also one of those people that this is one of the reasons why me and my ex, Danny. Oh shit! I shouldn't have said his name, but I've said his name now. Fuck it. We didn't get on because we were with each other when we were like 19, 20. We split up for like 13 years, and then we got back together for about 4 months. But he was with this other girl for this whole 13 years, right? And they were really fucking toxic. And when he
He was with another girl for 13 years while he was with you?
No, when we were, because we split up then.
Oh, sorry, yes.
And when we split up years ago,
Yeah.
he was like, look, I either am going to get with this girl or be with me because I still love you. Like, I'll be with you. Or if you don't want to be with me, I'm going to go and be with this girl. And I was like, I don't love you anymore. So he went off to be with this girl. 13 years later, or throughout those years, he would like drop in and message me every now and again, probably normally when they would have argued, and he'd be like, I miss you, I love you, and stuff like that. And I'd always be like, I still love you and I miss you too. And I always thought he was like the one, even though we had a fucking vile relationship years ago. But when he popped back into my life 13 years later and said like, I still miss you and I still love you or whatever, I was like, yeah, me too. Then we met up and he was still with this girl.
Yeah.
But then he literally like broke up with her to get straight with me. But they were really toxic, and he had a real bad drug problem and a drinking problem and just a behaviour problem in general. And me being me, like, I call that out. I'm like, you're toxic. These behaviours that you've picked that up from your relationship, which is really toxic. And he would just, oh God, he would make me feel like absolute shit about that. Like just for, like, you're fucking obsessed with my ex, you're upset. I'm like, I'm not obsessed with your ex. I'm acknowledging the behaviours that you've picked up from this really toxic relationship that you're now projecting the fuck all over me, and I don't like it, but I would just take it and take it and take it. And it's like that's like what I end up doing. Like I'm so like analytical over somebody's behaviours.
I think you have to be to understand somebody.
Yeah, and also like the kind of line of work that I'm in and getting into, like I am just very like vigilant, hyper vigilant over stuff like that. It's like, I'm not calling it out because I'm saying that you're a twat or that you're a bad person. Like, I'm giving you an opportunity to acknowledge some behaviours, because I would love somebody to do that for me, you know, like not in a
I get
not in
it.
a shitty way, but just be like, oh, here's something that I've noticed that maybe you need to work on a little bit, you know, we can do it together.
Yeah.
But like, people just see it as like an attack and can't handle it, and
not everyone, like, you could say that to somebody else and they'll be like, do you know what, thanks for being honest.
Fair
and
play.
actually I have learned that from my past relationship, or from another relationship previous.
When you can have those just truly open conversations about anybody
boundaries,
taking it.
isn't it? Like, some people say boundary, that boundary's so controlling, or that's so toxic. But people have their boundaries, and like, at least if you're honest about them, look, I don't like that in a relationship. A person can choose to be with you or not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's a lot of confusion over like boundaries and control.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know the difference.
Yeah.
Because they
100%.
do feel like, and it's something that we're not taught, you know, we're not taught how to lay down a boundary without it being controlling.
Yeah.
And I guess in a way it kind of is, but to your benefit.
No one has to accept it. They can be, well, I don't want to live my life like that.
Yeah.
Or, okay, tell me why that is a boundary for you. Okay, because you've been treated really shit. Okay, well, how about we kind of like just try and work with that so it softens or expands a bit, that boundary gets bigger, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly that.
But some people's are very rigid, and you do have a choice whether you want to be with somebody with those boundaries.
Yeah. But I guess that is just it, is finding someone that understands you, understands what you've been through, that you can understand them and what they've been through, and combining it together. It's just two like unhealed but emotionally aware people finding each other. And it's good to know that even if I randomly just bump into someone and think, oh my God, they're amazing, this kiss is amazing, even if I wait 2 years, they might still come back into my life, because they'll be looking over their mate's shoulder while he's scrolling through Instagram. But that is like literally just like I literally just love that story of you guys. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's a lush story, isn't it?
It is a lush story, and you just deserve like all the happiness in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You really, really do.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, also like, just quickly before we turn this off, like, another reason why I think it is fantastic that me and you have come into each other's lives, like Vary said, because our birth charts, like
shows us
my destiny
it?
and your, like, my north node, and your north node are aligned, like, because my North Node being in Aquarius, whereas like I've got to be a little bit more for the community, and your North Node being in Leo, I think, whereas you need to be a little bit more for yourself. So, and your South Nodes where you've come from is Aquarius, and mine is Leo, so it's like I can show you how to be more for yourself, and you can show me how to be more for the community. And I really do like pick that up from you as well, like a lot. So
I think we're definitely, we bounce off each other with stuff, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
We've definitely, I definitely felt it when we met, that there was like a soul purpose with that.
Yeah, I did.
So then when Vari confirmed that, I was like,
I know.
girl.
I love it.
Yeah, so.
I love it so much. I can't wait to see what happens for us both now, because we've both got big plans, haven't we, for our futures? Like you're big on wanting to move and progress and evolve for your future, and you're obviously big on encouraging Mags with that as well. Like, you know, in like, the softest ways.
But I think when you get into a relationship, you should want to grow together. Like, are we building together or not?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we going to do? Stay stagnant?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
No, fuck no.
You know, you can have so much joy and everything in the relationship, but then as a partnership, you need to be building together. Like, you know, we talk all the time about eventually getting off grid and out of the fucking rat race. Like, I can't understand why that wouldn't be anybody's dream, if I'm honest, but the way things are going with the world, but that's another story for another day.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, babe.
I am so grateful and honoured to have been asked on, so thank you.
Well, I'm so grateful and honoured for you to come on, and we'll have to do this again as well, because we've still got so much more to say.
We've got so much to talk about.
I love it. All right, cheers, girl.
No probs.
All right, so grateful for Louise to come on and join me for this episode. I absolutely love our chats, and I feel like that was barely even scratching the surface of what we normally get real deep into. I feel like we're being a little bit PG there, but I'll definitely have her on again for more chats sometime in the future for sure. But in the meantime, thank you so much as always for listening. Thanks for tuning in. I will get another episode out as soon as I can. As I said at the beginning, I'm not going to do it like every 2 weeks or anything. It's just going to be no time limit. It's just going to be out when it's out. Follow me on Instagram at Ell'Chemist so you can keep up to date. And if you ever want to send a message about things to discuss or questions that you've got or anything like that, then drop me a message to my Instagram at Ell'Chemist, or you can send me an email. It's skinonskin@outlook.co.uk. And let's have a chat about things. Like, send me what's going on in your life, and we can chat about it. But in the meantime, guys, take it easy. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch up with you all soon.